You knew exactly what the direction of the body of work that you were creating was designed for. Now it's like, oh, we just gonna throw all types of stuff out there and let's see what works. I mean, you had teams of people, right? Which is something we'll get into, but you had teams of people who were working on your behalf to ensure that that product met the end goal for that person who was writing them checks.
Yeah, I ain't gonna.
Today you don't really have that.
Yeah,
today.
no, I'm gonna try to not to be too controversial in this conversation.
Oh yeah, please bring it though. Please bring the controversy.
But I mean, but the truth of the matter
perspective.
is, in this industry that we're dealing with right now, you have a thriving industry, an industry that has the most potential than we've ever seen.
Right.
I agree with that. The capability to do things and open doors for people, the likes of which was just never available.
Right.
But you also have an industry that is really being subsidized by hobbyists.
Yo, what's good? What's good, man? Tonight we going. Oh man, what's up, fellas?
Man,
How y'all doing?
This is dope. This is dope. I'm happy to be here.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Derek, I appreciate you being here with us, man. For those who are watching or will be watching this a little bit later, tonight we are just going to sit back, get into some things. We got my man. Well, let me start over again. First of all, y'all know me. Welcome to the Indie Unplugged. My name is Vaughan, right?
Yohance Buchanan.
We got Yohance and we got Mr. Derek.
Prez Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Tonight, man, welcome to the Indie Unplugged once again. Tonight, we're going to really sit back and talk about. So tonight, the topic is the challenges of being a music creator in 2024, right? And I believe each of us bring a different perspective, right? Yohance, of course, you come from the A&R world, working with producers and artists, from that lane. Me, I do a lot of consulting. I used to manage artists. I do, of course, videography and all that stuff. But production was my main thing, right? So I'm coming from like a producer side. And of course, Derek, you work with a lot of artists and, a lot of independents, a lot of college students,
yes, sir.
In this whole music space. And I think it's just important that we recognize what the challenges are, and then we kind of figure out how can we navigate those challenges effectively so that artists can be. Now, when I say artists, let me kind of go back. I mean any music creative that's in this industry, the artist,
right,
producer. I don't think engineers have the same type of. Mostly artists and producers. Maybe they do.
I mean, I consider it. I consider them to have a lot of the similar challenges, but that's just based off my perspective of how it is that I look to them and coach them through it too. But yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I was always wondering about that, right? Because I mean, they got to mix the music,
right?
And the artists can't afford to pay for beats,
yep,
right? But you pay for Jordans, but anyway,
yeah,
or pay for weed. That's the difference. That's a different. That's a different topic, but you can, right? But now I think it's important that we kind of talk about and bring to light what some of these challenges are and really how they can navigate these challenges, because every artist, producer, music creative is kind of faced with some of these challenges. So let's kind of take a high level overview. So we'll start with Derek. So Derek, when you look out at the landscape of music in this independent space, what do you see?
Put simply, what I see an economy. And I think a lot of people don't see it that way. And I think that we can expect for them to not see it that way because so much of the industry for so long has been based off of, I guess, the privilege of being invited in, right? Like gatekeeping, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
The fact that, the original industry was about having people who had to provide space for you, provide, a platform for you. So you were basically treated like a commodity or an employee.
Mhm.
But in this new industry, the independent industry that is really beginning to dominate the space overall, it's about realizing that you're a business person.
Yep.
And therefore you have to
Yeah.
understand the economics of your
Yeah.
customer. So I see an economy.
Mm. I like that view perspective. I like that
Yeah.
viewpoint. I mean, because they are a business, though, right? I don't think many of them think that they are a business.
Oh, no, they don't think that at all.
I'm an artist. I'm a producer.
Right.
Not you, actually, a business.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. But because I used to think people were a commodity,
Mhm.
right? It's like I can use you to gain access to profits, to expand, promote, solicit, funds.
Right.
And
all of the above.
And all of the above, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yohance, what about you?
Well, with me, it's a little bit different. Like by me being an A&R, it's like I deal with the producers, deal with the artists. It's one of those things. Like for me, like my job is not like how it used to be. Back in the day.
Well, what do you mean? What's different than how it used to be?
Like, well, back in the day, even before I was an A&R, it was like he said, like the gatekeepers and everything. Like you have to get a producer, an artist. You know what I'm saying? You link them up. Now they're just literally going and finding that stuff themselves.
Yeah. I think they're still gatekeepers. Though.
I mean, it's gatekeepers, but
100%.
it's not like how it was though.
Yeah, I think it's about, because I mean, when you look at the landscape, what do you see? You know what I'm saying? Most people see what is, for lack of better terms, the norm, right? What's happening more times than not, right? And I think that's why so many people seem kind of lost, because all of the information that's being matriculated is oftentimes based off of what used to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite relate one-to-one with what is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, so even for you, like when you see that landscape, especially coming from the background that you come from, it's like, yeah, you're right. Like they are kind of going to each other directly now.
Yep.
So how would you describe that landscape? What as an A&R, what does that mean to you? Like, is that a good thing?
Right.
Is it a bad thing?
I mean, they're kind of cutting you out, right? I mean, it's like we don't really need you no more, because we can kind of do what you would do for us traditionally.
Yep.
We can do that ourselves today.
Yep. And that's why, with the podcast, that's why I'm on a podcast, because it's something different for me. You know what I'm saying? Still still dealing with music, still learning from other people, and it's like I wouldn't say leveling up, but I'm as far as like production or whatever, like that's what I'm like learning like production and artists, learning what they do, like how they're getting together.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And still, still try to do what I do.
Right,
what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's crazy, right? Because once you can take out the middleman.
Yep, exactly.
You pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, do I need you to do what you used to do?
It's
if I can do it myself,
way different.
Like if you think about what an A&R job is or was in the original traditional context versus what it evolved to today, there were some of the things that artists couldn't do or probably weren't allowed to do, which is what the A&R role fulfilled, which is why they did all the things that they would do in that perspective, right? Without going deep into their like job task and things like that. But if I can do that today.
And it's like every art, well, I wouldn't say every artist, but most artists are like going independent. So it's like they wouldn't need an A&R to find a producer. Like I can get this guy to do this.
No, not even get this guy. I can go buy beats off of YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I can download straight from YouTube.
That too, yeah.
Now, can I present to you all a caveat to that though? A different perspective on looking at that though, right? Because this is what I see. So yeah, all right. Yeah, you can go get your beats off of YouTube.
Right.
Right. You can go do that. You can, contact whoever you want to contact on Instagram. You can DM them, shoot them a message. Sure. Go ahead. But in my opinion, in my experience, and this is why we have some of the challenges that we have today, one of the biggest things about the A&R role of old was that when you were working with that A&R who knew what the actual demand of the check writer was, for lack of a better term. Okay. So when you were working with that guy and he was the one putting you all together, you knew that what you were making was going to actually have monetary value on the other side. But now it's like, yeah, you can go to that producer on YouTube, but have fun trying to monetize that end product though, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
So now to me, I see A&Rs as more or less, okay, A&Rs are designed to be tapped in still with the check writers. Where is the money for this work going to come from?
Right.
But now, rather than necessarily trying to work with a whole bunch of artists who don't value who I am, I'm looking for people who can deliver on this thing that I know the check writer wants.
Right.
Because you might be talented, but you just out here making stuff just for the sake of making it.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's that's the thing, right? Because from that perspective, A&R, you had direction.
Right.
You knew exactly what the direction of the body of work that you were creating was designed for. Now it's like, oh, we're just gonna throw all types of stuff out there and let's see what works. I mean, you had teams of people, right? Which is something we'll get into, but you had teams of people who were working on your behalf to ensure that product met the end goal for that person who was writing them checks.
Yeah, I ain't gonna.
Today you don't really have that.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to not to be too controversial in this conversation.
Oh yeah, please bring it though. Please bring the controversy.
But I mean, the truth of the matter is, in this industry that we're dealing with right now, you have a thriving industry, an industry that has the most potential than we've ever seen.
Right.
I agree with that. The capability to do things and open doors for people, the likes of which was just never available.
Right.
But you also have an industry that is really being subsidized by hobbyists. And most people
I get it.
Don't know
that
they're a hobbyist.
So so how would they know they're
how would they know that? Yeah,
I think I know.
I mean, go ahead.
How would they know they're a hobbyist? So? Like, especially somebody like, yeah, I'm really doing this. I'm putting all my time, energy,
you putting all your time.
I'm in the studio.
You putting all your time, all your energy. You in the studio. You spending all your money. But show me what that balance sheet look like.
Well, what's that? What's the balance sheet?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Show me what your revenue versus expenses look like.
What's that? What you mean?
Oh, okay. How much money are you spending versus what you making?
Oh, I'm spending money. I'm trying to get beats for free.
All right.
Right. I'm trying to get beats for free. I ain't trying to pay the producer.
But ain't nothing free.
I ain't trying to pay the producer. I ain't trying to give you no points. I'm already paying you for the beat. I gotta give you points too.
Well, you paying for the beat. That's an expense right there. But you ain't made no money off that track you did.
Made no money off of that.
So when I say the entire industry is being subsidized by hobbyists, it's because when you think about it, now there's all of these products, all of these services. Most of the DAWs, a lot of the DAWs have switched over to subscription models now. Yeah. You constantly spending money every single month just to be in the industry.
Right.
That's true.
But you're not making anything.
Oh my goodness.
So
I have issues with that.
So you are paying everything that you need to pay to have as many of the tools as you can have that you think the professionals have.
Yeah.
But there's always another tool.
There's always
another plug-in.
Always.
There's always another piece of gear.
Always.
And you're just spending money, right?
But I don't mean to interrupt you, Derek. But you know who I blame?
Who?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you who I. Okay, it's twofold for me. I do. It's a keeping up with the Joneses,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
and I blame, and here's why I blame them, because they're the perpetrators, right? You go to how do you find out about new plugins and new DAWs and all that stuff, right?
It's a
YouTube.
producer.
YouTube. And there's always some producer
Yeah.
on YouTube. Hey, check this out. I got the latest Logic Pro 11 update that just came out the other day, which I got. But I mean, it was free because I already own Logic, but still.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But came out. So it's the latest and greatest. So I think I need that.
Right.
In order to be professional or to make it in this industry. And it's like, you could. So I got a homie back in St. Louis, right? He uses MPC 2000 XL, MPC 4000. Now, granted, back in the day, they cost like an arm and a leg, but he uses that today.
Right.
He ain't got the latest. I mean, he does have Logic and stuff like that, but his primary tools are those. But I blame the people who think they need those, the companies who put it out there and say, yes, if you want to be successful, you got to have all these latest plugins, DAWs.
Right.
And I also blame the YouTubers out there.
But how do you blame them? How can you? How, Sway? Like, how can you blame them? Because at the end of the day, I mean,
you know why? And I get it, right? It's
commerce.
It's commerce for them, right?
It's an economy.
They should say, you know what? I'm going to review this new plugin, but you don't really need it though. What you got, you can still use, but they ain't going to generate no. I know. I'm just saying.
Come on. I'm saying. So, right. Like, so the sponsor that's keeping my lights on and enabling me to be able to do this video, I'm about to throw them under the bus and tell no. I mean, because at the end, because that's exactly because that's the dynamic shift, right?
That's the dynamic.
That's the
Absolutely.
dynamic. That's the difference.
That's right.
Now that this is an economy, all of us are business owners. We all got to figure out how we're gonna get our check and we're gonna eat in this.
Right.
Oh well, the technology exists now. My new theory, social media is the new TV.
Oh, for sure.
And that includes YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Like we ain't really, as a general public, we're not really watching
TikTok.
Yeah, like
I
all
watch
of
TV.
that.
I watch that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So with that being said, all of us who have channels, all of us who have pages, we are television channels.
Yep.
Right? Like we have to figure out how we're selling ads at all times. So the only difference is whether or not those ads are being automatically generated by the algorithm and I ain't getting no cut on it,
right.
or whether or not I'm able to convince a company to spend money with me directly to get more access to hear me tell somebody.
That's right.
Go get this plugin.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what's happening.
That's all it is.
That's exactly what's happening.
Because I know with TikTok. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No.
But with TikTok, it's one of those things like they're about to be part of the streaming services. Like when you go down, it says Apple, Spotify. I'm trying to think of the other one. Tidal.
Yeah.
But TikTok is literally, they're coming soon with a little stream.
Oh, they're already there. They're already there on a lot of these places.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
They're not new to this. They know exactly what's about to happen.
Yeah.
They're about to get in on that game too.
And
So
and that's one of the reasons why even now people are adamant about keeping TikTok, right? Despite the fact that, obviously the music industry is up in arms because they ain't getting paid. They ain't getting paid. They ain't getting paid their royalties no way.
right.
But the problem is that TikTok facilitates too much commerce.
Oh, okay.
Too much commerce.
Too much commerce. It
Too
facilitates way too much commerce. The ability and it's just a different type of commerce, like especially for like retail products. You know what I'm saying? For makeup, for for the whatever, even for gear, right? Like for you to be able to like plug a direct link to be able to purchase, something that you seen from a TikTok video, and you got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people seeing that video.
Right.
You don't know a television channel that can do that type of ad revenue or ad visibility in 15, 60 seconds. Like
That's right.
You know what I mean? So like, so it's the economics of it. It's about people selling products. And it's about the fact that so many independents in our industry don't understand that they are being sold to 24/7.
24/7. You're being sold to 24/7. No matter what channel you go to, no matter what platform it may be, there's products, right? So one of the things that when I was working at a certain cell phone company that I won't name, they had a process or an algorithm that they use to identify what you were looking at. I mean, we see it every day, right? If, I'm telling you right now, if you talk about a certain product and you go to your Facebook, Instagram, you're going to start seeing ads on that, right? I mean, this was before big data even was a big thing, right? Before they started targeting ads to your social media platforms based upon things that you may have been searching for, your interests, videos that you may have looked at that, oh, okay, this person must be interested in those types of things because they clicked on this video. Yeah. So let me kind of push more things like that to them. And so at this cell phone company, they collected all this data, right? That's how Netflix knows if you like this show, you'll like these shows.
Yeah, they kind of beat it into your brain.
Yeah. If you like this,
and you
show
don't
like
even.
that.
Oh, I'm not gonna say you don't even know it, but you like, yeah, I kind of want to watch that show.
Yeah, I do want to check that out. Yeah, I mean, because it's like, yeah, everybody has taste. I mean, there's a whole plethora of issues that come with that, which that's not really what this is all about. But what it does signify, right, is like, again, is as it relates to these independents, it's such a like prevalent thing that they don't even realize that it's happening. Right. And that's when we're saying like the difference between a hobbyist and a professional. Really, the difference is whether or not you know it or not. How aware of that fact are you, and are you using that fact to your advantage or not? Right? Because if you're just constantly buying the things that you see, the things that you think you need in order to stay in the game, that lets you know you are
hobbyist.
A hobbyist.
Hobbyist.
You're a hobbyist.
Yeah.
Like, because a professional isn't thinking about how to stay in the game. They're thinking about how to use what they already got.
That's right.
Yeah.
In order to be able to fund not just their existence in the game, but fund their entire life. Like, I need to pay my bills. Exactly. I need to pay my mortgage. I need to feed my kids. And this that I do enables me to be able to do all of those things, or at very least, that's what I'm working towards. I have a plan to do that. Right. And I know at very least, even if I'm just starting, I'm developing models for scalability that will allow me to get there. Right? In this new industry, not the one of old.
Right. Yeah. Because you're going to have to think about what those models of scalability are. You're going to have to come up with some type of strategy and plan in order for you to truly be effective and successful. Right? I'm not even just talking about just being successful. I mean being effective.
Yep.
Right? Yep. And there's a big difference between both of those. Right? You can be successful easily. Like, look at all the one-hit people that be coming up real quick. They're not effective in what they do. Yeah. They just happen to have a huge hit that maybe, trended on TikTok, and boom, they got their little quick fame.
All you need.
Quick fame, but they don't have any sustainability, longevity. They don't have a strategy of how they're going to capitalize on that.
They got no plan. They have no idea how they did it the first time. How they going to do it again?
Exactly. So which leads me to the first topic, financial stability. Let's talk. I mean, and actually, all the topics we talked about is all right. Right in this conversation.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm looking at the list like, dang.
But I mean, is there money out here for independence?
Oh, heck yeah.
Tons of it.
It's a bunch of money out here.
Tons of it.
Sync licensing.
But I mean money for them to be financially stable.
Sync licensing. That's one of them.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
I know for sure.
Even before, I mean, okay, all right. So let's go back. Independence and what skill set? Are we talking about independent artists? Mm-hmm. Are we talking about independent producers?
Independent artists?
Are we talking about
So okay, so let's talk.
Who are we talking about?
Let's talk independent artists first.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Financial stability.
Financial stability for independent artists?
Yeah.
You need a job.
Need a job.
Okay. Yeah. Job.
I'm keeping it a buck.
I feel like something's in my eye over here. Look, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Get a job.
Get a job.
Get a job. But so many people are job averse.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So let me elaborate. Okay. Why do independent artists need a job? Why is everybody else I'm not gonna give that advice to necessarily. Well, no, I get that advice to anybody, especially if you're first starting out.
Right.
Get a job. But especially as an independent artist, I say that because artists don't realize that their only product is their brand as an artist.
It's you.
You're not selling anything else other than you. So
yep.
If I were to, let's just say, come out with a line of hairbrushes, let's just say anything, right? If I were to come out with a line of hairbrushes, I call these the Prez special hairbrushes. They're gonna make
brushes.
The Prez brushes.
Prez brush.
Okay, the Prez brush. All right. The people who know me might buy them. Maybe. That's a big maybe, fat maybe.
That's a big maybe.
That's a big fat maybe. But more times than not, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time and a lot of money branding this Prez brush.
I mean,
to convince people that it's worth the money, right? So how much money do you think I'm gonna have to spend in just psychological exercises?
Ridiculous amounts. Arm and leg.
That is what an artist is doing behind their own name.
Yeah.
And they don't realize they want to go viral so bad. But the problem when you go viral is that nobody knows what your brand is.
Right.
They only know of that one instance, but that one instance isn't representative of you. So as an independent artist, in order for you to be able to, be stable, financially stable, you got to realize that, like, until you have a definable brand and a brand that people want to pay to be associated with.
That's the key, right? That's the key, because once you're associated with a certain brand, then that opens up the door to so much more. But if you don't know what your brand is, matter of fact, I got a course on that. Go check it out on WeCreateMusic.tv. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a whole course on branding. You can go check it out. I walk you through a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, shameless plug. But
shameless plug.
I know, yeah.
I'm just saying.
So what about the producers?
So now,
wait. Before we get to producers, I want to go back.
Okay.
Even for producers too. I still say get a job.
No. Yeah. Get a job is pretty much universal if you start. Like,
get a job.
Yeah, get a job.
I still have a job.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
I got a job. I work my 9 to 5 still today, right? I was doing it earlier today.
Yeah.
But I use my job to fund the brand.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? Like, how do you think I got these mics and this sofa and these lights and these TVs and these cameras? And
that's what
like,
it is.
Imagine if I was trying to do that just as,
You know what else too? And because I'm gonna talk to someone else about that too, in terms of that. And I think this goes not talked about a lot. Like, it goes undiscussed a lot with regards to artists, and especially when artists don't want to get jobs. They're like, I just want to be the artist.
I want to be the artist.
You know something that I noticed about most artists who are just artists and not like people with jobs? They're boring. They don't have anything to say. They don't have any life that I want to hear about or that anybody wants to hear about. See, there's something weird about having a job. It makes you really relatable, doesn't it?
It makes you really relatable.
It makes you
what you
really,
doing a job today. It makes you super relatable.
It makes me have something to talk about.
But you
can find inspiration from life is all I'm saying.
Absolutely, for sure.
From just regular life.
Regular life. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying for y'all to get a job out here, right? Get a job. Not only does it fund your endeavors, right? You can use that money and stop buying weed, stop buying Jordans, right? Stop going to the club, stop drinking so much. If you really want to do this music thing, there's certain things you're gonna have to sacrifice in order to say, Yohance got.
I don't know what's going on.
Yohance going off over there.
I don't know what's going on here.
Yohance going off over there. Like, get it. Like, don't. Here's the thing that's not really talked about: shaming. Shaming people who got jobs, because you see that, oh, you got a job, you're not really an artist, and you got a job.
Yeah,
like, I got a job. Like, I'm trying to still fund the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, right? So a big part of it is the shaming, but the other part is you learn skills that are transferable from the job to your regular artist, producer life.
Hopefully.
So my man Derek mentioned stuff like balance sheet.
Yeah.
Who knows what a balance sheet is, right? I mean, get a job, like especially in corporate America.
Yeah.
They'll teach you about balance sheets.
100%.
And not even just that. If you want to know about the whole thing, go to Investopedia.com. Like I used to do stocks and stuff, right? I still do some, a little bit, but Investopedia, they'll teach you about balance sheets and, all those technical financial terms.
Because at the end of the day, artists don't realize that since their business is being an artist, like, okay, that's literally a business. That's a brand.
It's a brand
that you are managing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why a lot of people tell you to set up LLCs for yourself as an artist. That's why. So if you don't know about basic business operations, there's a lot of context there that you're missing out on simply because you think that it's not relevant, or simply because you think that, oh, I'm gonna be able to just be the artist, and I'm gonna tell you something else. For all of you out there who think that it shouldn't be that way, I should be able to just because I can already see the comment section coming. So I'm gonna just speak directly to them for just a second. Even if you want to be just the artist, that's perfectly possible. It's still possible.
It's still possible.
It's still possible. But here's what you're leaving on the table: 90% of everything you make.
Right. You're gonna have to pay everybody,
because you're gonna have to pay everybody else to do every single thing that you don't know. To manage your business, to sign those deals, and we call that the ignorance tax. That's what that is.
Oh yeah, you're gonna pay that.
You're gonna pay that ignorance tax. So it's like, you can do that. You can be the willfully unaware about any of this piece of it artist. You can just be the person who just sits there and looks pretty, or sits there and smokes your weed in order to fit in whatever lifestyle or box that the community around you has placed you in. You can do that. You can be that. You can not stretch beyond that at all if you want to, and just get really, really good at doing you. Just do you till the wheels fall off. But I can guarantee you gonna pay that ignorant tax.
And it's gonna be a hefty tax.
It's gonna be a hefty tax. And the saddest part about that tax is that because the lifespan of artists, even when you blow up, ain't even that big. You'll be lucky to have 10 years.
Lucky.
But in 20 especially, you ain't gonna have a thing.
That's straight facts though.
But every single person else that you paid that ignorance tax to, they gonna probably have investment portfolios.
Trust me, they gonna have it.
They gonna have most of your publishing rights. They gonna have everything that's gonna continue to pay them into retirement while you.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's kind of like the stories you hear why people don't have money. Oh, I don't have any money. One, I mean, you probably got a bad contract because you didn't want to hire a lawyer to look over the contract because you wanted to make the deal. And sometimes you're pressured into kind of, signing that contract as well. But
100%.
You leaving 90% of what you're supposed to have on the table.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to learn, which is one of the other topics on here, learning the legal and business side of things. If you're going to be a business, you have to understand what it takes to be a business. Like you can't, who starts a business and doesn't understand the basics of business?
A lot of people.
And that's why they fail.
I mean, yeah.
That's why they fail.
A lot of people.
A lot of people.
Most people,
Right? But you got to understand the basics of business. What does it take to really run a business? How do I start an LLC? Mm-hmm. What is an LLC?
Yeah.
Right? What covers me under an LLC? Is an LLC exactly what I need? Or do I need a sole proprietorship?
Man, see, but you talking all that stuff, man. I just be wanting to
I just want to be an artist.
I just want to get in the booth, man.
You want to get in the booth? Go ahead.
Man.
I'm like, you know what? You want to be in the booth? But here's the thing. I still want you to get what you're supposed to get and know what you're supposed to know. But if you want to be willfully ignorant and just want to want to get in the booth and be the artist, you about to pay that tax. So the question is, do you want to pay that tax or do you want to learn so that you can keep a lot of what you're going to get. That way, you don't have to pay that tax. But if you're okay with paying the tax,
Yeah.
I'm convinced that a lot of them are. I'm convinced that a lot of people are just happy paying that tax.
they're happy
I'm
paying that
I'm
tax.
convinced that they like the story. You know, all of these horror stories that we hear about people.
These
I'm convinced that that sometimes people like being able to have a boogeyman. Because a boogeyman, being able to say that people like having ops.
People like having ops.
They like having
people
ops.
They like to tell those stories
about how they was did wrong and abused, and I'm convinced that you know, because I say that especially in this day, like we understand that artists of old, the traditional industry. Nah, like folk got taken advantage of heavily. We know this. But what reason do you really have to be falling on your sword in 2024? I don't. You had to try.
Look, not with all this knowledge that lives out here. You can go to YouTube University. You can search everything on Google. Matter of fact, Coursera gives you free courses.
ChatGPT.
Dang, yeah.
Like, you had to really try.
ChatGPT,
ChatGPT can give you all.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I know.
You gotta try to get blindsided in this industry.
You got
today.
to.
You gotta try.
You got to.
You gotta just want ops. You got to. You want a story to tell. That's you got to.
You got to. Because there's no way with all this free information that lives out here that you don't have access to it. It's readily available. Bro, this is not
easy.
It's readily available.
So I'm gonna answer your question. Producers. Okay. So producers.
Yeah.
So there are certain skill sets in this industry that are marketable skills in and of themselves. Being an artist is not one. That's the first thing I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Being an artist is not one of those skill sets. I don't care what nobody says. But being a composer definitely is.
See, that's a difference though.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
I know. Being a composer definitely is. So again, as we already stated, I don't care what we're talking about. You in this industry, independent, get a job.
Yep.
But as a producer, aspire to become a composer. That's number one. Because as a composer, you can call yourself whatever you want to. But as a producer / composer, there are ways for you to be able to make money independently that will eventually replace your 9-to-5 income.
Sure.
And it's a lot easier to get that than it is for an artist to get their brand up to the point where like they're making that same equivalent type of money.
Absolutely.
So as a producer, we're talking sync. We're talking even a substantial clientele of artists that are actually paying for your beats, licenses, and all of that other stuff. Like those things are possible. None of it is easy. But I will acknowledge that it's easier to get there than it is for an artist to build a brand that makes them money.
For sure.
But it's all to me, it's still about time management and realizing that it's like a scale, right? Like if I'm spending 40 hours a week on my job in order to be able to get the check that pays my bills, first off, understand that if you spending 40 hours a week on your job and you get off work and you go home and you go to sleep, you might as well just hang it up right now.
That's facts.
Right, because you're not maximizing the time that you got.
Don't tell me about how you tired.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that.
We don't want to hear that. Just so you know, 40 hours a week, that's for normies. We don't do that. Muggles.
Right. We don't do that.
We don't do that. Like you need to be able to put in at least 50 hours of work time. At least 50. That's a start. Because that means after you get off work, you need to put in at least another 2 to 4 hours on whatever it is that you say you building.
That's easy.
And if you coming home, look, let me tell you what. You coming home from your 9-to-5, and the first thing you do is jump on a PS5. maybe this ain't for you.
I mean,
so let me. Hold
well,
on,
it depends. If you
let me
gonna
take
be
it
up for 12 hours that
It
day,
could
I
be.
could put up a couple of days on the
I can get
PS5
a couple, a couple matches on Call of Duty
and
real quick,
then go work.
right?
I can do that.
I can do that. But if the focus is when you come home that you're not going to do nothing in relationship to the thing you say you truly want, hang it up. Just go in the closet, get the hanger,
get that money back for all your gear,
and put your career right on the hanger and put it in the closet. Until you're serious about it, because this actually takes work.
A lot.
This takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of tough skin. You're gonna hear a lot of no's.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized I didn't finish. Yes. Yes. You working 40 hours to pay all your bills. Okay. After you work them hours for that day, you need to figure out, all right, I got 2 hours. I need to figure out how to turn this 2 hours into $50. Okay. We'll just start there. We'll just say that. Okay. And then you figure out how to turn that 2 hours or that 4 hours or whatever into more and more and more money. When you get to the point that you making the same money in that 10 to 20 additional hours of time that you spending on your own business, you're making the same money with that as you are making, not were making, are making. Because understanding you do this at the same time.
Right.
That you are making on your 9 to 5. So in other words, you working a 9 to 5 and you working your own business. Once you double your income through the effort of your independent business, that's when you consider quitting your job.
And the key word is consider.
Yeah,
right?
consider.
Because oh my gosh,
that's when you
don't want to just be like, well, I made twice what I got. I guess it's time for me to quit.
Yes, no,
nah. Like you got to give it some,
and you got to do that consistently.
You got to give that thing some thought, and it is difficult.
Yes,
right. That's part of the sustainability. Are you able to keep up those actions consistently, day to day, month to month, year to year? Right? It's not a one-time thing. Oh, I just did it just once. Now I think I'm good. Nah.
Yeah. No, not at all. If you're spending 40 hours a week in order to make $40,000 a year, and you're spending 20 hours a week in order to make an additional 30, that the math makes sense that, all right, well, if I can spend more time in my independent business, then I'm ready to take that leap.
Right.
That's what people talk about when they say go all in.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying. Out of context, there's a lot of people taking that out of context, and they starving and they stressed and they trying to figure it out. And at the end of the day, the industry don't care about you, because you spending everything that you worked for in order to stay in this industry is exactly how you are subsidizing the continuation of this industry. That's why we're selling things to you every single day.
All day, every day.
Nobody benefits from telling you, yo, hang it up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you, yo, keep trying. No, get this new plugin. Yeah, all you missing is this program here, that piece of gear there. Like, because at the end of the day, if you spend every single dime that you make trying to stay in this, who do you have to blame but you?
That's right.
And speaking of mental health, because I know you're talking about being stressed.
Yeah.
That's one of the subjects, like mental health.
I mean, eventually somebody gonna burn out.
Yeah.
Eventually they gonna burn out. And they're eventually gonna figure out, you know what, I want to do this. And mental health can lead to a lot of different things, right? A lot of different things. And back in my day, right, 'cause I'm a little older, but we probably had mental health back then, but we didn't really talk about mental health in the way that we talk about mental health today.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, now everybody talks about mental health, right? Go, talk about your feelings.
Right.
Talk about the things you're facing.
Right.
Have conversations. Go pay somebody, money to talk, about what you're going through, and they help you devise a plan of how to deal with your emotions. And 3 years later, you're still talking to that person with no progression on. I get it, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I mean, no, it's not just you.
Maybe it's just me, but
it's not just you. No, because we'll talk about we could talk about the fact that, all right, so Yeah, you'll eventually burn out and you'll want to quit.
Mhm.
I actually get more concerned about the people who are burnt out and don't quit.
It's like they're spinning their wheels.
Oh yeah, spinning their wheels heavily, and they don't realize that they're angry at everybody and everything. Lord knows that they probably got a few kids out there that they ain't necessarily spending the amount of quality time with. Why? Because they stressed out. They stressed out trying to figure out how it is that they're gonna be fulfilled in this life because they don't understand enough about mental health. And the thing that I enjoy about the mental health conversation is that so much about mental health, in order to do it, I won't say perfect, but right, is just an awareness of it at the very least.
Right.
I know very, very, very few people that can afford to be paying a therapist every
day.
We ain't really got it like that.
We ain't got it like
and
that
we
to do
recognize that. And that's why, especially in our community, that whole mental health thing, you might need to table that. Like that's why so many people feel that way. Cause it's like, that's why they you know what I'm saying? That's why they say that that's for the other side.
Right.
That's the reason they say that, because the other side, in theory, can afford it and you can't. So you might as well not even go down that road. Nah, that's not fair. But at very least, being aware of it means that you can start to recognize the things that make you feel stressed out and out of your element, out of control. You know what I mean? And this industry, I have an analogy that I use, and I say, if athletes are the best of the best among us physically, then that makes creatives and entertainers the best of the best among us emotionally. Because we're constantly playing around and experimenting in the expression of our emotions. But the same way that puts athletes at the greatest risk for physical injury,
it puts a music creative at the greatest risk for mental injury.
Correct. That is how I like to think about that. And so don't play. If you in this industry, I highly encourage you not to play around with the concept of, it ain't gonna get to me like that. I can handle it.
Oh no!
Don't play them
Don't
games.
play them games.
Don't play them games.
Don't play them games.
Don't do it.
And I get it, right? Mental health is a real thing. I mean, I work with a lot of mental health professionals, right? So I understand mental health is a real thing, that people are really going through things. Like, I'm trying to be an artist. I'm trying to be a producer. I do have a family. I have kids. I have the stresses of the job. I have the stresses of life. I have people telling me, oh, you are not good enough to be able to do this. I have people on social media living the lifestyle that I want to live, right? But I'm not at that point at this particular moment. And so I'm getting frustrated and stressed and overwhelmed and, having to deal with all of these different things. I got, the bill collectors calling me every day saying, hey, you need to do this, but I'm trying to take the money that I make from being, my 9 to 5, which you still need to get 9 to 5, important to, yes, my family and the business, but maybe I got to sacrifice this over here because I got to do this over here. So I absolutely
being pulled
get
in
it.
a million different directions.
This is counting the cost of what it's going to take for you to get into this industry. And if you're not counting that cost of what it's truly going to take, maybe it's I got to step back for a minute.
Sure.
Let me reassess. It is something I want to do. Maybe I can still do it, but maybe there's a different level that I may need to do this at. Right. And so mental health is a huge thing. People have, I agree with that, Derek, is that it's the awareness that something's triggering me. Right. And I think that's the most important thing. What are your triggers? And identifying those triggers, and then identifying things to deal with those particular triggers. Because if you know that if you come home from work and you work in a stressful job, maybe your stressful job is a trigger.
Yeah.
Right. And it causes you to behave and act in a certain way. Maybe that's a trigger. Maybe you got to find a new job. Right. Maybe that
or that person you coming home to.
Oh, it could be. It could be.
Or that person who just comes over after you get off.
It could be.
Because they don't live there yet.
Right. I mean, sometimes we have the ability to bring people into our lives that they enter into our space with a lot of the phrase negative energy.
Yeah.
You don't want no bad juju.
You want no bad juju. You want no
There's
bad
no
juju.
bad juju.
And that could be what is causing you to. You don't ever spend no time with me. You always in the studio.
Right.
Like,
right,
yeah, I'm trying
right,
to get this
right.
thing popping.
That's the truth.
It's a realization, and I think we got to make that realization. And too often in this industry, especially these. I mean, all creatives. This is all creatives. So that includes producers, your engineers. Your engineers are just the tech side of the creatives, as far as I'm concerned. But especially artists. Too often they just really, really, really overlook the fact that like all of these, we'll just call them childhood traumas because we're talking about it from the mental health perspective, but all of the negative experiences, because we've all had negative experiences in childhood. This isn't about how you were raised, whether you were raised great or bad. There are silver spoon people who still have childhood traumas, right? Like, so everybody has something that they're dealing with. But as an artist in that, you got to understand that regardless, that is affecting you as a person, especially in your ability to be able to express yourself, because that's what this is. Art is about expression. And when you make something that a lot of people resonate with, it's because those people weren't able to express that thing like you were able to. We love it because we all feel the same way. That is what defines something that like makes everybody come together and have this mutual shared experience, being able to say like, yo, like I feel that too. I just couldn't put it in those terms or express it that way the same way that you could. That's all that means. So you got to understand that if you don't have a full understanding of what triggers you, what puts you in a bad mood, what puts you in a good mood, like, yo, like you are working with your hands tied behind your back. And you also got to understand that a lot of the people around you might not understand that either.
Right.
So when you putting people into your orbit and they're having bad days, or they don't understand how to express themselves emotionally, music industry is all about our collaboration. What producer I'm working with, what engineer I'm working with, who's featuring on my song, like, all of these things and all of these different people who all have things that they are dealing with every single day. Yo, like it's a gauntlet, because you're not just navigating your emotions, you're navigating the emotions of everyone around you.
Right.
Yep.
That's right. That's right. I mean,
That's
and
true.
when you really think about it, that's what managing a business is, right? If you are in this industry as an independent and you have some type of moderate level of action going on, and you eventually have a team of people, right? Manager, lawyer, publicist, probably personal. You got your personal manager, your business manager, right? You got all these different components of your team. You're managing the emotions of all of those people, right? That's just like what I do in my day-to-day job. I have a team of people that I work with. They report to me, and I manage everything that happens with them. It's personal things, professional things, things happen with their family that we deal with, things happen on the job that we deal with, right? And you got to understand what, there's certain things that may press your little button, you react in a certain way. Yeah. And that may not be the way. So once you identify, say, yeah, this is one of my triggers. Okay, now how do you cope with that?
Right.
How do you deal with that in an effective way so that you are at peace, the situation's at peace, and all parties involved are at peace.
And just so any of y'all know, for all of you who haven't been in therapy, that is literally what a therapist is going to tell you. Just
100%.
Just so you know, that's a quick preview.
They're going to ask you just a whole bunch of questions.
They're going to ask you a whole bunch of questions in order for you to be able to realize what your triggers are.
Right.
For you to be able to take the time to actually sit there and do that work. That's what that is. Okay. So we just told you what that is. Now, I still think that if you can, absolutely seek professional help for people that can be able to do that. But if you can't, just take the time and recognize when you are feeling something. Right. Name what that emotion is.
That's the key.
And then identify what caused it. That's it.
That's the key. Name what the emotion is, right? Figure out what caused that. The beauty of it is the naming of the emotion. Yes. Right? Because then you can start to identify, oh, that's Angry Jack right there. Right? You're like, how do I deal with Angry Jack? Angry Jack likes to behave this way. And I don't like when Angry Jack does that. So I'm going to figure out how to deal with Angry Jack. What caused Angry Jack to become angry? Oh, when he's stressed, when he's at work and he comes home, or when he's doing whatever, it's that immediate bombardment. Okay, then I turn to Angry Jack. Okay, then maybe I need to kind of set some parameters, right? I mean, you got to,
Yeah.
and that's what a therapist is going to say. I'm just going to be, as Derek said, I'm going to be honest. That's what therapists are going to tell you. They're going to tell you what your coping mechanisms, what your triggers are, and the coping mechanisms to deal with those things, right? Like
100%.
100%. Trust me, I know. Like I teach. So one of the things that I teach at work is Myers-Briggs type indicator, right? MBTI, Myers-Briggs type, and it's all about personality.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about determining whether you express yourself as someone who prefers introversion versus extroversion, sensing, and intuition, right? The whole thing. And part of it is identifying stressors. And in that, I tell you, if you're somebody who is a sensing person, right? All about facts and data, there's certain things that's going to be a trigger for you.
Right.
Here's how you deal with it. I give them a whole sheet that says, if this is your type, these are your triggers, here's how you deal with it. And it's literally what a therapist is going to tell you. That they're just going to ask you a bunch of questions, have you sit there for an hour, and you're going to have to pay them.
Yep.
And I get it, right? Seek professional help, especially if what you're experiencing is so dramatic in your life that is causing you to have maybe suicidal thoughts, right? Absolutely call the suicide hotline. Like I tell you, I work with a lot of mental health professionals. That's the first thing is we'll tell you, if you're feeling a certain type of way, if you make mention, you know what, I just don't think that, today's the day out. I don't think I'm gonna see another day tomorrow. We're gonna try to get you over to the suicide prevention hotline as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I deal with that all the time. I work at the VA, so I'm a veteran and I also work with vets.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with that paying attention to people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's about realizing, when we talk about all of this in the context of artists and entertainers, it's about really realizing like we don't oftentimes realize how we're playing on the front lines of our emotions all the time. And that's where you kind of gotta, you have to take the time to become better at identifying your emotions and dealing with them and expressing them. And the irony in it is that for every single situation that I've ever seen, it just makes you a better artist. That's the irony. Is that literally doing that makes you better at expressing those emotions in your art. Because again, it comes out intentionally,
which is why still Mary J. Blige's My Life album is still my best favorite album. I think she figured out how to deal with it and communicate all the things that she was going through into that album. And man,
that's when you know.
I may listen to that after we done today because that album, boy, is amazing. But anyway, I mean, I agree because you're able to translate those emotions, those feelings into your artistry, into communicating that pain, that feeling, that emotion, because somebody else may be going through it.
Right. Exactly.
And if you know how to deal with it, and
you become a catalyst for someone else.
100%. You can become a catalyst for somebody else to deal with that same emotion.
Yep.
And you hear people say that, you know what? I listened to your song and man, that helped me deal with the situation that I was going through, which is why I love J. Cole's Love Yours.
Yes.
Right? I do. I love that song. That song has helped so many people deal with so many different things.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I was looking at, my man over here who was living the life that I thought I wanted to live. But I had to realize that there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. Like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Every day, all day.
That's right. Every day, all day. Man, so we talked about a lot, right? So we talked about financial stability. Once again, get a job. Don't let nobody shame you for having a 9-to-5, right? It was like, yeah, I got a 9-to-5, but my 9-to-5 funds everything.
Everything I do.
Everything that I do. I know how to use my money. And that's the thing, knowing how to use the money as wisely as possible so that you're able to achieve the things that you truly want to achieve.
And I'm gonna just say one more thing about that too. Because I know a lot of people are also resistant to that because of the image, right? Like they're like, well, I think, people having a job, people knowing I have a job will hurt like my image. Okay. So I want to go on record saying that's also a relic of the past industry. In the past industry, you were a brand that was ready to go. Why? Because labels were picking you up based off the promise of what you could be,
right.
and then they were funding everything you were doing and then taking all of your money.
Right.
But
You're gonna recoup all that.
again, but that was why you needed to be that full package. In 2024, when your success, and especially even if you're trying to get signed to a major, is all about your connectivity to your fans. What do the fans want? They want to know more about you as a person, your journey, what you do, like what your interests are. Like they're following every single thing about what you do on social media. So yeah, you having a job isn't necessarily a bad thing anymore. It makes you relatable to your fans. That's why you gotta throw out that old mentality that having a job and being known to have a job is somehow bad and a negative influence on your brand. You gotta throw that out.
That's right. And you got to figure out how you are making money off of your brand while you're still working at 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Right. My homie Lamont Graves will, and this is for producers really. He'll show you how on just an instrumental album to make an extra at least $1,500 to $2,500 a month off an instrumental album. You making beats in your studio. He'll show you how to make money just off of that. No artist, right? No artist. And it's doable.
Yeah, 100%.
100% doable, right? So when we think about financial stability, it's being, I guess it's like the word, right? Stable in your finances, right? Stable in your finances so that you can do this music. Know how you are spending your money wisely, right? Know what a balance sheet is. I'm telling you, if you understand just this type of basic stuff, it's going to go a long way. Even just that, the legal and business side, right? We talked about LLC. Do you need an LLC, right? Do you know that it stands for Limited Liability Corporation? I mean, like, is the LLC what you need? I mean, I got an LLC for what we do. I'm gonna make sure it's covered.
Right.
I mean, you got to have the basis of business. And here's the thing, right? We talk about knowledge and how knowledge is accessible. You know how many books exist that you can download?
I mean, like ones
on your phone.
You can read. I mean,
you like. I mean, I gotta read the book.
You got to read the book.
What?
Reading is fundamental.
No, but
I'm saying
it's audio books too.
you got audio
books,
right?
They read it to you.
No excuse. Like I'm gonna tell you what. There are 2 books as an independent artist, producer, songwriter, engineer. There are 2 books that you absolutely need to get, and I know I'm gonna mess them up because I always mess up names, right? So do I need to look these books up?
Yeah, Google it.
Right, I'm gonna Google these books. The first book is a book by Ari Herstand.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
How to make it in the new music industry.
Yeah.
I
think he's on the volume 3 now.
I think he's on 3. Yeah, I think it's on 3.
Yeah.
But if you haven't even read 1, at least go get 3, right? Because 3 has the new updated stuff. You need to read that book.
Yeah.
Like
Google it.
How to make it in the new music industry, I think is the name of the book, by Ari Herstand, right? He's like the poster child of all music indie creatives because of what he was able to do with just his career and how he navigated that and used. And it's all about his experiences and it's mad relative. Learn that. And then of course the next book is Donald Passman.
Oh yeah.
And the book name is
it's like on 11th chapter or the 12th chapter.
What's the name of the
edition?
What's the name of the Donald Passman book? I got it.
It's the book is yellow right now. I know that much.
I'm about to go look because I got books on my tablet, right? Which you know what I'm saying.
I ain't never heard nobody who know the author. But
Donald Passman.
You know the author's name, but not the book.
But not the book.
That's normally backwards.
I'm looking for it.
I know the All You Need to Know About the Music Business by Donald S. Passman.
And he was a lawyer. So
yeah, he was a lawyer. Yeah.
So there you go.
That book, All You Need to Know. You can see my book. Well, you probably can't see it, but I got a bunch of books
right
on
there,
here, right?
yellow.
All
cover.
You Need to Know About the Music Business and How to Make It in the New Music Business by Ari. You get those 2 books. Oh, and the other book is, which of course is not in my, it's not in my what's name here, is The music business explained in plain English.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good one. I'm gonna do a shout out on one more, simply because I really liked my experience with it, and I'm gonna try to. But it's the 10 artist commandments.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh yes, sir.
That what's my guy's name? What he let me go to my account right quick.
Like we gonna look it up. We gonna make sure we give you the.
See, that's what I said. I know the name, but not the. I forgot the
Right.
author name. You know the author's name. What's my guy's name? 10 Artist Commandments.
Is it right?
Oh, J.R. McKee.
J.R. McKee.
J.R. McKee.
J.R. McKee. Yep, that's it.
That's the one.
10 Artist Commandments. I really, really, really like that one.
10 principles to create enduring success in the business of entertainment. Yeah, hey, like I'm not. I read that book. I'm gonna
yeah,
that.
you gotta try that one out, because I think that one speaks a lot about mindset and understanding about like how to move as an artist building a brand in this industry. So the other ones are definitely going to give you more technical knowledge about like business functionality,
business contracts.
That one I think is a very good ideological, blueprint to follow.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, I like that.
I like reading.
That one's pretty
I'm
new.
a reader.
Yeah.
So the other book, I'm going to plug one more book by my homie Jay Hatch.
How
I quit my job and made it in the music industry. Like that's a great. And the reason why I like that book out of all the other books, because the other books give you information, right? They say, here's all about contracts, here's all about negotiating, here's all about publishing and royalties and splits and all the stuff you need to know.
Right.
But what I like about Jay Hatch's book, it's a workbook. It's a workbook built into the book. So he'll give you some information and then he'll say, okay, now go and then do this.
Yeah.
What you just read, go actually do that.
I gotta check.
Right? It's like a workbook.
Yeah.
And so you go through and by the time you're done, you're at least going to have some type of information plan about how to approach your music career.
I love it.
Because it's practical. It's crazy practical. And that's what I think what people need.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I gotta check that book out.
All right. So what other topics we got? What else did we miss anything?
Yeah, we haven't talked. So we talked about financial stability. We talked about the legal and business knowledge. I want to talk. And I gotta hope. You trying to go home?
No, yeah.
No, you gotta stay right.
Conversation.
Yeah. Look, we're about to get into the data analytics and audience insights, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which is information that artists need to know.
Oh yeah.
Right. So we was having this conversation. I forgot who I was having it with, but I was like, "How do you know where to go to have a concert off of the music that you've done?" Not even just that.
What, was that Candace?
Yeah, it was a kid. It's probably Kenneth.
Yeah, it was Candace.
Like, even before that, how do you know how well your music is doing and in what demographic your music is doing well in? What reach you have with your music? Who's listening to your music? What are the potentials for your music in certain types of cities, cultures, countries?
See, now this is one of those topics that really, really, really it exasperates me to have to try to explain it. Not necessarily like explain it, because it's not hard, right? It's not that it's hard. It's that the importance of it is so lost. Partially because there's definitely like this educational gap with regards, like we're talking, because I mean we talking data.
We talking about data, like data,
like boring, like data ain't never been fun. Like I don't care what interface.
Data is not fun. Who likes looking at graphs and bar charts?
Like data is never fun. So if you can't get an artist,
pie charts.
If you can't get an artist to get interested in their own finances, that's money.
That's money. And they all about the bag though.
Yep. But you can't even get balance sheets. Okay, we still trying to. You see what I'm saying? Like we still trying to explain the importance of balance sheets. So trying to explain the importance of data. Okay.
But see, it's right up there with balance sheet.
Oh no,
though.
it 100% is.
It's right up there with
As a
balance
matter of
sheet.
fact, I would be willing to present that you probably can't get your balance sheet to move
without the data.
Without the data,
Exactly.
like if you not looking at the data, you gonna be real confused on why everything you doing not working.
Because your data will tell you.
It sure will.
It'll 100% tell you.
It'll tell you quick too.
And so if you don't know what to look for and how to interpret the data, that's the other part. Because see, data and analytics is crazy important right now. We getting into the whole back end, looking at your dashboards, and every platform that you use. Trust me, artists, producers, every platform that you use has data and analytics tied to it. Right? If you use YouTube has a whole YouTube studio. It gives you all of your data and analytics.
All of them do.
When are your people most engaged with your content? Instagram can tell you the same thing. TikTok can tell you the same thing, right? When are people most engaged with your content?
Spotify.
Where
Apple
are they
Music.
most engaged with your content at, right? So there's a guest that we're going to have later on the show, Kean Martin, and I always use him as a prime example for this because I had a conversation with him one day. I was like, how did you know to go to Italy to have a concert, bro? Like, Italy? Yeah. You're in Atlanta. How did you know Italy? How did you know Italy was where you needed to go? He was like, it was the data.
Yeah, the data.
The data told me that a lot of my listeners were in Italy.
Real talk. I think like as an independent artist coach, like if it wasn't for the fact that Spotify gives you so much data, I would absolutely never recommend that you put music on Spotify. But you can't, because, you know what I mean? Like, because outside,
they about to get sued, so.
outside of the data that you get from Spotify is monetarily worthless.
They're about to get sued, so.
You know what I mean? But the data, that's the only thing that's really worth it, and that's the one thing that nobody really looks at. The data. Like, so yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna give a couple tidbits about like data as an independent artist. Okay, because I was literally just having this conversation with one of my students fairly recently. Because, oh my god, yo, artists, bro, stop dropping albums that nobody wants. Stop dropping albums that nobody wants. Okay,
that's all the way fact.
So let's go back. So stop dropping albums that nobody wants.
Albums though. That's what they telling me. That's what the culture is telling me to do.
Stop dropping albums that nobody wants. Stop running ads on content that nobody's liking in order to boost the thing because you like that piece of content. Okay, so here's how data works. This is where we are now with the new industry. Because of the fact that these algorithms do such a good job showing us what it is that we already like. This is how you're supposed to use stuff. You're supposed to put stuff out for the purpose of testing the market, right? So why are you dropping singles and not albums? Because you don't know which of the songs that you make your audience is actually going to like. That's why. So you put out maybe, let's just say, a single a month. This is just an example. You put out a single in months 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The single that came out in month 4 did 5 times better than the single in all of the other months. You know what that tells me? I think I'm going to do an entire EP around the style of the song in month 4. Not month 1 because that's the one that I like.
Yeah.
Right.
Not month 5 because that's the one that your homeboy is featured on. I'm not gonna spend $3,000 to $5,000 on a music video for single 2,
and it got no plays. But that's where I'm gonna dump all my money. No, sir.
Use the data. Use the data, and pay attention to what your fans are telling you they like. It's that simple. The same thing carries over to social media. If I'm releasing a reel, especially a reel every single day, let's say we can't do that. Every other day, every 3 days, I don't care, whatever, 3 times a week, whatever your release schedule is, you're releasing your reels. You follow the reel that did the best? Which one got the most plays, the most shares, the most views, the most engagement? That's the one you follow. That's the one you follow, and that's the one that you make more of.
Right.
Right.
That now becomes your model right there, right? That becomes the model that you use, because obviously there was something that you did in that video.
Right.
That
worked.
It worked.
But so many people are so resistant to that. Like they have such strong opinions about the thing that they want other people to like, not realizing that, like, yo, you're in the service of your fans. So what do they like? And that's the other reason, just so you all know, that thing that went viral that you did simply because you was BSing and you going viral might not be what you want. Because then you might get stuck with a whole lot of fans who don't actually like what you do.
That's right. That's right. Look, okay, so I'm all about resources, right? So I ended up attending this seminar with my wife, provided by an organization called Mind Valley. And Mind Valley did I think it was like a 2-day social media, it was 3 days social media conference for free on how to use social media, how to analyze data. Oh my gosh, this thing was so good. How to analyze data, right? And they had this guy called his name is Brendan Kane. Brendan Kane was the mastermind behind all the social media for Taylor Swift. And
I think I heard a podcast with him talking. I think
they brought this dude out. He has a book called.
You're talking about from the early days, right?
Yeah,
like her MySpace days. I remember. I heard him speak one time.
He wrote a book called 1 Million Followers.
Yeah, send that to me,
bruh. He was the mastermind behind that whole campaign for Taylor Swift in the very beginning. But he talked about data and how data gives you everything that you truly need in order to maneuver appropriately within this industry. How do you know what people like? What grabs their attention? So he talked about that same thing, right? Doing testing. And the purpose of testing is when you're putting content out, you want to see how it does in that space. And then to say, okay, what made this do well in this space? And really analyzing how that video did, whether it's an actual video, long form, short form, reel, whatever it may be. How well did it do? Go look at your data analytics, and it literally tells you everything. At what times this piece of media engaged with the most people? Where did it engage? What did they look at the most? Right? Because it'll tell you, oh, everybody looked at the first, 3 seconds, and then after the 3 seconds, they were gone. So it lets you know that, okay, maybe you didn't hook them well enough in the very beginning to keep them, engaged. But I always use Kian as an example, because I had that conversation. I'm like, bro, how did you know to go to Italy? Like, bro, Italy? Like, first of all, you're black.
Right.
Okay. Second of all, they're not in Italy. How'd you know to go there? And how'd you know that they loved R&B music? And when you went, you sold out the concert hall that you did.
Yep.
He was like, the data told me. He was like, bro, the data told me everything. I knew that these songs generated the most listeners in that space. And he's like, not only did we just go there, but we went here, we went this place, we went to this place, because all the data told us. And that's how I knew. He said, when I was there, so I maximized that whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like,
and it's not even hard. You literally just gotta look. You just gotta look. So all of that is to say, y'all gotta become interested in data. So that's on the artist side. Quick tip for you producers out there, especially if you're a producer, because producers don't like this either. Producers, again, they want to be creative, but again, you gotta actually not be a hobbyist, be a professional. Serve what actually has a market. Data can tell you that. So, we'll just talk about like some of these type beat producers.
Beats.
The type beat producers, right? Mm-hmm. Did you know that you can actually look up the data to find what kinds of type beats people are actually searching for? So then, if you know what type of type beats people are searching for, and you can use more data to find out the categories that are underserved, and you can just make that.
Yep,
that's right.
You like all of these new up and coming artists who, of course, a Drake type beat or a Kendrick type beat, especially right now, those
Right
things
now,
are gonna be trending, right?
Drake,
But
and Kendrick all day.
you're one of millions of people making those things all the time, right? But if you're finding a newer act that people are listening to and that's buzzing, and other artists want to make stuff like them, that market of type beats probably isn't as saturated.
Right.
It's popular, it's in demand, and literally data will tell you that. Data will tell you that if I make 10 tracks like this artist here that people are searching for, I could probably sell quite a bit this month because it's trending right now. Data can tell you that.
Data can tell you that. Data can tell you.
Listen to what they talking about.
Everything. Data can tell you everything. You just got to be willing to go look at your dashboards and to interpret that data. The key word tonight is data.
Data.
Right?
Listen to what he's talking
Got
about.
Data.
Data.
We got the datas, right? It's all about data, right?
That's like Taylor Swift. The way she is successful is because she making them type of songs that,
and because they
following,
they know that she has a model, right? And they know that this model works, and if this model works, we ain't gonna stray too far from the model.
Nope.
Because we already know what works. We already know what people want. We already know where they're listening to. We already know what songs are trending in the right spaces with the song. So data tells us all of that information. I think, as you said in the beginning, people just don't. I want to be an artist.
Right.
I want to be a producer.
Right.
Yeah. You can, but
so
you could do that still.
So that's what I'm saying. So yeah, you're a hobbyist. Yeah, that's cool.
You're a hobbyist.
That's fine.
Right. And so that's how you know you're a hobbyist.
That's how you know. Like if you're just creating for the sake of creating because that is what you want to do and that is what fills your heart and soul with purpose and all that other stuff, that is perfectly fine. Just understand that you are a hobbyist, and that is okay.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Because the other thing because people really have like this black and white thought process about it where they feel like, oh, well, if I'm only following the data and I'm only doing what the masses say and creating stuff like that, then there's no real creativity there. There's no real art there. And yes, that is true. But you know what? You can do both.
Both.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You can do both? You're telling
Both?
Wait. So you're telling me that I can study the data and make stuff using data that will actually make me money and also make experimental things for the art of it?
There you go.
What? Yeah, you can do both.
You can do both.
Do both. But you can't do just the artist part and expect and then be mad at the world that nobody wants it. Like what?
You can do both.
Data. Follow the data so that you can pay for your art. That's all.
Follow the data. That's it.
Follow the data so that you can pay for your art.
Data can tell you everything. And so here's the clincher with this whole thing is that some people don't even want to collect the basic data.
Yeah.
Or even just basic demographic information.
Because they think that it's going it's like a virus.
Like how many of y'all got an actual mailing list though?
It's going like no.
Oh.
Like how many? Like how MailChimp? You can use MailChimp.
Mm-hmm.
You can create it's free, right? When you're at your shows, if you know where to go do those shows at, then you can have people sign up and they're inputted into your MailChimp account or Constant Contact, if that still exists, right? And then you could send out blast to all of those people.
Yep.
To say, hey, I'm going to be in this particular city, right? You know who's the king of mail list? I don't even want to talk about it. I feel so bad for him.
Go
today,
ahead.
though. I feel so bad for Ryan Leslie today.
Go ahead.
I feel so bad for him today. But yeah, because of that video. But anyway, he's the king of mail list.
Yeah.
Superphone was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, and I love the fact because Ryan Leslie is all about data. He's like, I know who bought my album, when they bought my album. They can send messages to my phone. Like, I have all this data, and then I can target all of those different individuals. If I'm in their city, he was like, yo,
Yep.
I mean, I'm in the city. Like, I'm doing a special show for y'all. Pull up.
Yeah.
You can't do that if you don't have no data. You can't do that if you have the basic demographic information of a mailing list. What age brackets is your audience? Is it 18 to 24? Is it 24 to? Is it 25 to 45?
Don't even know. And Lord knows all of that information is information that you can use if you ever did actually decide to run an ad on anything that you're doing.
Right.
But
like one of my biggest audiences is 25 to 45. So guess what I'm gonna try to create media on that speaks to those people. The next is 18 to 24.
Right.
Like, gotta have the data. Just the basic data.
Data.
It's so
Data.
crazy. So crazy.
I'm gonna keep repeating it. Data.
But you know, you brought up something, which is probably one of the other ones: market saturation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel, Yohance? Do y'all feel that there's too many producers?
Nope.
Too many artists?
Nope.
Yeah, I can't say so because it's weird. It's very, very weird. Well, finish your thought. Why do you say that? Why are you like, yeah, why do you say that? Do you think so?
Do I think there's too many?
Yeah. Well, me personally, it's like never enough artists, never enough producers. That's how I think.
I think there's a plethora of them.
There is a plethora.
Yeah.
A plethora of artists and producers.
Yeah, 100%.
I think there's too.
You think there's too many?
I don't think there's too many.
So here's what I mean by too many.
Okay.
Like the hobbyists.
Here's the thing though. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you cook.
There's like, I guess there's too many people who are not serious about it.
Okay.
But
there you go.
There's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot.
But you don't understand.
Everybody's an artist.
Yeah, but
everybody.
That's good though.
The taxi driver.
No, that's good though.
Person at the restaurant.
But that's good though.
In what way? How?
Because they're feeding the rest of us.
Yeah. See, exactly.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I get
You
that.
get it? You get it now?
I get that.
They're feeding the rest
feeding
of us.
Everybody.
The hobbyists.
And companies, the companies love it.
Exactly.
Because everything is a subscription.
So no, there's not too many. We need many.
We need many more, right?
Many more.
So if you're thinking about being an artist, today is the best time.
Today is the best
to be an artist.
Yep. Right now. I'm gonna put up my my little Amazon affiliate link right now.
Right
you can
now.
purchase everything you need from my page right now.
That's right.
Yes.
Hey, I'm here today to talk about this new plugin that just came out from XYZ company. Hey, by the way, there's an affiliate link in the description. Click on it. I get a little kickback. Right? There's always I get a little kickback. We do. We artists, producers feed.
They do.
So here's why I say that. Why I'm asking: is there oversaturation? And if there's too many, because when there's an overabundance of something, then it becomes depreciated.
Yeah, that is
right.
true.
So if I'm a car dealer and I have 50 cars on my lot of the same car, right? Somewhere I'm not gonna be able to get rid of all them cars. They go to the end of of course they depreciate in value when they drive off the lot anyway.
Right.
But now if I can't sell all those cars, I gotta start finding other creative ways to kind of make money off of those cars, right? And then I have all this giant stock of cars. The reason why I'm using this as an example is because of the depreciating value of producers and artists, right? And I'll use the whole beat leasing as part of that, right? I do not like beat leases. That's just me as a person who's a producer. I don't like beat. But see, I don't like beat leases because I'm trying to like
because it came on your turf.
Like it came on my turf. You came on my turf. I'm trying to sell beats for and then here you go, you're selling beat. Oh, I need $25.
Yeah. So okay.
I'm just being that devil advocate.
No,
It's a really
because, no,
oversaturated.
you're not devil's advocate. You are what I think is exactly what like the normal thought process about it. No, I'm the weirdo because because I recognize, because that's the thing. It's like, understand something. I don't like it either. Cause it's nobody likes change, first off.
Nobody likes change.
Nobody likes change. So I'm no different. I don't really like it. I think that it has enabled an oversaturation of false hope.
Like, okay, so yeah, right. So that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a false hope that everybody can be an artist.
Yes.
Everybody can be a producer. Everybody can be an engineer.
See, but it's once you realize that that's on purpose, once you realize that that's not by mistake, because the false hope is feeding everyone else. It's feeding like
you could be the next big thing if you buy this plugin, or if you.
It's like, why did Spotify devalue everything under 1,000 streams?
Oh my gosh!
How much do you now see that false hope is subsidizing
right
everyone else that's a professional. That's what's happening. So okay, so once you realize that, and you realize, okay, yeah, like I'm a producer, but let's keep it a stack. What really creates the space for somebody as a producer? There are two things that really create like a space for you in this game as a producer. Number one, first and foremost, is your network. First and foremost is going to be your network. Your ability to be able to connect with the right people at the right time who got the right budget.
Right.
Yep.
Right? So that's number one. So now number two is going to be your track record. Like, all right, so when I made that, I delivered a major win for that track that I did, or that album I did, went gold, went platinum, won a Grammy, whatever.
I can do it again too.
I can do it again too, right? So now everybody wants you and the specific sound and style of you. Last time I checked, who buying unique stuff off of these beat leasing websites?
Nobody. You know why? You know what they're buying? Type beats.
Exactly.
They downloading.
Exactly.
They downloading directly from YouTube.
Exactly. So to me, that's a whole different market. And that's why it's like, so, okay, so everybody entering into that type beat thing, the ones who know better will use the data that we just talked about and leverage making the type beat that's in style of the here and now. But that's a professional way to do it. The ones who don't know no better is subsidizing the market for everybody that does.
Right. No, yes, that's facts though. That's absolutely facts.
So whereas, I don't like that that's the case. I don't like the fact that I'm spending every single day talking to young kids, impressionable young kids, about the reality of this thing that they think that they just gonna win in because they've been lied to every hour and every second of every day. No, I don't like that part.
Right.
But I can't deny the fact that that's just the way the economics of it have shifted. And as long as I can educate people about the difference and illuminate them to the difference, then maybe I can prevent them from falling into that trap.
Right.
Of being a hobbyist.
See, that's the thing, right? Because they have a person in place that can actually illuminate those things for them. Not a lot of people have that. A lot of people, because they're seeing all the flashy things they see on social media. They're seeing a falsehood that is projected.
Right.
Hey, I gotta wear the chains. You broke though. In real life, you broke. Bro.
But how is that any different than what the major labels did when they put you know what I'm saying, all of the rappers and artists and all of the fancy cars and
And it
clothes
took
and
them right
made,
back after the video
you know what I'm
was done.
saying,
They
and
really
made
was,
every
yeah.
single person want to be signed.
Yep.
Like it's
right.
no different. The only difference is who's doing it.
That's right.
Before it was the labels doing it. Now it's tech companies doing it.
Yep. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
exactly.
My goodness. I mean, I think that's the other. I'll add to your thing. I think it is the network you have, the consistency in how you're able to produce.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also the quality in what you're able to produce. Maybe it's just me.
No, I don't. I think that that's true. But I think that that's.
But see, quality is subjective.
It is subjective, but not to a major.
Not to a major.
it's
not to a major.
At a certain level, it's not subjective no more.
But you know what I think may be a dope beat, and what somebody else may think is a dope beat or a dope song, may be not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's why I'm like, I'll add it, but maybe not so much, because if I'm consistently delivering songs that people like and they're picking those things, obviously there's something that I'm doing
Right.
that's catching the attention of the people who want that type of music, right? And the music that you're creating as a producer is going to draw certain people. It's not going to draw all people. It's going to draw certain people because they're looking for that type of beat. If I only make trap beats,
mm-hmm.
right, I'm not going to really draw in boom bap type. Right. Maybe unless a boom bap producer kind of artist wants to
stumbles upon it and maybe does a remix or something like that. But that algorithm say they ain't gonna find.
They ain't gonna find that. That's not what they look for. That's what that data will tell you, right? They're not looking for that. But I know if people want these types of Drake type beats, Kendrick type beats, you know, Lil Yachty type beats, or whoever, then that's what the algorithm's you're gonna find people that want that,
right?
And so I guess for me,
Kendrick. Well, the last beat, I mean, it was more of a West Coast beat. And,
is that the Not Like Us?
Yeah. Yep, Not Like Us.
That thing
they
went,
crip walking off of that.
Right.
That thing went, see, and that beat didn't really resonate with me.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
But it resonated.
Were you following
it
the
was
whole
the
beef?
data.
I was.
It was the data.
I was following well, let me really be honest about the whole thing. I was following it, but not really following it.
Yeah, so that's what, like, it resonated because of the context.
Well,
that's the only, in my opinion, anyway. Because like, to me, the beat is dated. Like, it's not. It's not like it's a throwback.
It's a way throwback.
But that was the point.
Yep.
Right. No, I
so that's why.
Get that.
So okay, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that I mean, it's in my head. I can
so
hear it
exactly.
Right now.
That's why he made the beat.
I hear it.
It's in your head.
It was meant to be a West Coast come together anthem song.
It was.
That's what that was.
It was.
Exactly.
It was.
So it served its purpose in that. But
it did.
But that's honestly the mark of a good producer. Shout out DJ Mustard.
Right.
Yeah.
That mark, because he knew exactly what it was going to take in order to project that in the way that it was going to be, so that Kendrick could deliver his lyrics in the way that he needed to.
Exactly.
And guess what tells you that?
The data.
The data. Right? Data tell you that type of stuff. But also, I mean, it's also feeling, right? I'm sure when Mustard made it, Kendrick was like, oh, that's dope. I know I'm going to use that for.
Yeah.
But I haven't really been following it. Haven't really been talking about it because Cole wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And so,
so we agree.
So as long as Cole wasn't in, I'm good. I ain't got to follow nothing.
See, that's how I felt.
I ain't got to follow a single thing.
Team Drake, Team Kendrick. I'm Team Cole.
I'm Team Cole.
Yeah,
like, as long as Cole wasn't in it, I'm good. But as soon as Cole was in it, then that would have been a different story.
Man,
he took himself out of it.
I was so. I'm not gonna go there. Let's get back on this. I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna just say, like, first off, like, I truly have always been a fan of all three of those brothers. Like, I'm Team Big Three. Like, I understand, beef and all of this other stuff and everything.
Team good music.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. Like, I appreciate the mark that all three of those brothers have left on hip hop, because they have been holding down the more taboo topics around hip hop. People being able to talk about, emotions, being able to talk about activism, being able to talk about relationships, and all of those things that a lot of elements of hip hop are too proud and ego driven to talk about, right? I appreciate having all three of those brothers in the game because of their ability to be able to do that and be the example of that a lot of other artists can then follow. But I'm more proud of Cole for being able to say, yo, this don't sit right in my spirit.
Me too.
Yeah.
And therefore I'm not
gonna participate.
And he did it at a concert.
I'm not
that
gonna
was a good
participate
thing.
in this.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, as much as they want to make jokes about it and the memes about it, they say, bro, God came and sat on Cole's shoulder in a dream and told him to get out of this before it got too crazy. I was like, bro, I believe that.
He apologized.
I believe that.
I believe that. That's the Holy Ghost. Yes,
that's
and
right.
amen.
Look, he didn't
Won't
even
he do it?
He didn't even have the devil on his side, on his shoulder.
Right.
Like the devil was like, I'm good.
Yeah, no.
God was like, don't get in that because I already see what's about to happen.
Won't he do it?
Right. And we understand what your trajectory is for your career. This ain't something you want to even get yourself involved in.
Yeah, no,
but it was a smart, once again, this is understanding your trajectory as an artist.
And your fans.
Right. And your fans. Cole fans don't want to hear that. Right.
It's like some of them might. Some of them might, but I think more importantly, Cole fans understand Cole.
Right.
Like, cause let's be honest, all of us would kind of want to hear it.
I want to hear it,
but
I want to hear it.
But I don't want to see him be something that he's not.
Right.
More than anything.
Right.
That's what's most important to me.
He wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that one of the things that he ended up talking about in an interview that I saw earlier was his own mental health. Yeah. And was just assuring that his mental health was at peace. Right. And he said that he was like, this don't sit right in my spirit to be able to engage in these types of deliberate activities that's taking place between Kendrick and Cole. Yeah, we said some stuff on First Person Shooter.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's when he had to apologize.
I get it. Right now I feel like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I get it, right? But even when he was saying all the stuff that he was saying, from my perspective, he still wasn't degrading anyone.
Correct.
Right? There was no degrading or negativity towards a person. He's like, is it Kada? Is it Aubrey? Is it me? He said, it's like we all started the league.
Right.
Right? He said, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali, but everybody know Muhammad Ali is the greatest, but George Foreman.
Right.
Joe Frazier. We think about Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Like you cannot just dismiss the legacy that they have. And so that's kind of what I was taking away from that. I'm just glad Cole, not to get into this whole thing. I'm just glad Cole didn't get into that because I literally didn't want to see that. I wanted to hear responses, but I didn't want to see him engage in that. So let's talk about this. The last thing we'll get into is because Derek brought it up, which was talking about networking, right? And I think that's crazy important.
Yeah,
connecting with the right relationships matter. Relationships are key. Getting in with the right people is key, right? We were saying this the other day with Sound Oracle. We had an interview. We did an interview the other day with Sound Oracle. And I was telling him a story about where I had first met the producer Focus at an event, and Focus was like, if you guys are really serious about this whole thing, meet me over at Tree Sounds in about an hour. We'll see who really show up. Like, cool. We get there. I go knock, read the little ring the buzzer. They open the door. How can I help you? Yep, I'm here to attend whatever. The producer Focus, Aftermath, Dr. Dre told us to be here. If we're really serious about this music thing. Cool. She was like, did Focus tell you that? I was like, yeah. He said he's on his way. I can call him and verify that he's going to. And as I'm talking to her, he comes through the door, right? And she's like, hey, Focus. He's like, hey. And she's like, kind of looking at him. He's looking at like, yeah, they with me. And then we go to the back and they got this big old party in the back and all the stars and people are back there, but it's all about the relationship. It's like I had a connection with Focus that got me into a door. Yeah. That got me into a situation with a bunch of people.
Right.
Right. how important is building a network that allows you to maximize those opportunities as a music creative?
I don't want to be cliche here. So I'm not gonna repeat all of the things that we know are true, like your network is your net worth.
I knew it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we all know that, but part of the reason that people say it all the time is because, like, yeah, it's true. So let me go a step further. I don't think enough people, even just based in the context of what it is we've already talked about. So we're going to keep this on brand. Not enough people realize that I don't care at what role you play in this industry. Whether or not you get a check or not is all about sales. That's really, it's legit sales. If you've ever had a sales job, you actually probably have an advantage to be in the music industry more than people who probably know more than you in the music industry.
We were talking about that the other day.
I was an assistant manager of a shoe store.
Yeah.
So I know what time it is.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Like, this industry is sales. Okay. So in understanding that kind of helps put into perspective for you why networking is so important, because the difference is that you don't have a store that people come to. You're a door-to-door salesman.
Right. You selling them vacuum cleaners.
That's what
Right.
that's exactly what it is.
That's what
if you
selling.
don't show up to the door, you're not selling.
Not selling.
That it's
not even just, I don't mean to cut you off there.
No.
If you didn't prepare, right? I did door-to-door sales a long time ago in El Paso, Texas.
Man.
Right? No habla inglés.
Oh, wow.
I had to learn it in order to at least sell the rainbow vacuum cleaner to the people that I was selling to.
That's the perfect analogy.
Like, I had to. Like, so I had to, like, research.
Yes.
What, right? And one of the things about El Paso, if you ever lived in El Paso, you know that they got screen doors. There's wind. There's dirt. It flies into your house through the screen door. So I got a vacuum cleaner that can clean all that up. Part of my sales pitch was like, let's open the door. Let's let some of this dirt in. Right? These tumbleweeds coming in. Right? Western music start playing as they coming in. Right? And then I take the vacuum cleaner. I had a whole pitch.
Right.
They trained us in how to do this. Right? I had to go home and practice what I was going to say. In order to, when I got to the door.
Yep.
I knew what to say.
Yes.
I knew how to position myself. I already branded myself before I got there.
Oh my God. The perfect analogy, because what a lot of people don't realize about networking, and I think that's why a lot of people kind of get sick of people saying, oh, you got to network, you got to know people, is because the part that we kind of skip over when you just go to the cliche is that we don't really talk about what it means to be prepared for the room that you're going in. And that's what, because once you recognize that, oh, it's sales, bro, if you ain't got nothing to sell, don't go. If you don't have anything to offer those people, why are you even opening your mouth?
Exactly.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you, I'll walk that back a little bit. It's fine to introduce yourself. It's fine to introduce yourself. But for you to come out your mouth to ask somebody for something when you ain't got nothing to offer, go to a networking event, introduce yourself, because people will start to recognize your face. If you can go even if you don't got nothing to offer, just to be in the room, just to, shake hands. Right. This is who I am. I'm going to just say hi. I'm going about my business. Cool. When I got something for you, I'm going to come back.
That's right.
That's crazy.
That's fine. But it is about understanding that, if you don't show up to the door,
you're not.
You can't get the sale.
That's right. Oh yeah. By the way, I have a whole networking in the music industry masterclass that's on WeCreateMusic.tv that you may want to check out. That kind of talks about this whole preparedness. Right. I break it down into like pre-event planning. Right. What are the activities you do before you go to the event? Right. Identify your 5 to 7 key people that you want to meet. Right. I talk about your branding statement. Your pitch. how long that should be and why you should put certain things away, right? Asking the right types of questions and how to formulate the right types of questions in the right way so you can generate the interest that you want from people to be invested into you, right? There's it's on the website, y'all. Like y'all tripping. Like the resources right there anyway.
Hit you with
But,
that YouTube
It's the
YouTube
truth.
plug. You can look right here.
Right
You can
here.
Hit the
He said
link.
right-
Hit the
he
link,
said
hit the link
right
right
here.
Hit the link somewhere.
Wait.
Like right here.
The link's right here. If you
Oh,
wanna
man.
That's
get
right.
that link
It's
to this
right
class,
there.
it's right there.
Oh,
But
man.
no, I mean it's crazy though. Like, yeah, so networking is part of it. Networking is part of it, right? Going to, and it's not for me, and it may be, I don't just go to any and every event
Right.
because I can't. This event that you're doing up here may not even be in my wheelhouse to even to attend that event, right? If I do hip hop, trap music, I may not go to a rock event. Maybe I like rock music, but I may or may not go because the people who are in that particular space may or may not deal with the
Right.
type of genre of music that I'm in, right? So you always got to determine what type of music, your audience or the people that you're gonna be networking is kind of gonna
Right.
be interested in.
But that's a part of the preparation you talk
Part of
about.
preparation.
You
right?
gotta know, like you knew that sand was gonna blow in that house.
I did. I did.
So you
I
knew
knew
what people you was dealing with,
I
right?
knew a whole bunch of stuff that was gonna blow them away. Like, hey, y'all got some clothes? Yeah, we got clothes. Hey, go get the suit that you're gonna be wearing tomorrow to work. I'll go ahead and get that pressed up for you real quick with this vacuum cleaner. What you gonna do? What?
You gonna do
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
What?
What? Yeah, we go ahead. Oh, dude, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But
so yeah, like that's about understanding the problem that person has.
That's right.
Before you get
Before
there.
you get there.
Right? Like,
and
so
how you gonna solve the problem?
You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, like you gotta, the problem that they got before you get there. So yeah, when you gotta research at these networking events, who gonna be there? How does that person, relate to something that you're offering? And how can you help that person with a problem that they have?
That's right.
If you don't have answers to those questions, just say hi.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I just want to introduce myself. Okay, bye-bye.
But definitely still go.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to the events, figure out which ones work, go to those events. But here's the key, right? Joining professional organizations that align with but once again, you got to know what your brand is, that align with your brand, right? So I am a member of the Atlanta, I'm a member of the Grammys, but here for Atlanta, right? I remember the Atlanta chapter. I'm a member of, or I was a member of AIMP-ATL, which is the Association of Independent Music Publishers, right? I was part of that steering committee to help get it off the ground. I'm a member of the Atlanta Film Society.
Okay.
Right.
Big ups.
So I work with a lot of film people and talk to them about film stuff and attend film events and find an association that deals with, I don't know if there's a Atlanta Trap Association, if that's what you
it might be somebody they gonna
right.
telling you watch. It's gonna be
join a professional organization. Like, pay your money. Like, it costs $100. No. It's now $150 to be part of the Recording Academy.
Yeah.
You just need 2 recommendations. That's it. So find 2 people that you probably know that are members of the Recording Academy and join. You get discounts, educational discounts. You get, access to Grammy U and all these other things. Join AIMP ATL. It only costs $100. Right. And that right there is boosting your network, is your net worth type of saying. Because the people you're going to be meeting are the people that you actually need to meet.
Right.
That are in charge of a lot of stuff. Right. Or have access to a lot of stuff. Now, what they don't have is a lot of Instagram followers. But what they do have is a lot of access to people that you need, right? And having a lot of Instagram followers to me never really equates to access.
Right.
And these people got access. And that's why I joined these. Once again, for selfish reasons. But that's why I joined these organizations.
I'm mad at that.
Yeah. I do. Like, I'm going to be part of the Grammys. I'm going to be part of this organization. I'm going to be part of that because I can network with other people. And that way I can build my platform, invite them on as guests, and then do other things with those other people. Networking is critical.
It is 100%. I can't stress that enough. So for all of those independents out there who especially these bedroom producers. There's an epidemic of people who just don't want to leave the house, man. They just don't want to leave the house. And
COVID.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
because
COVID
that didn't help.
pre-COVID.
That didn't help things. That
It
didn't
did not
help
help.
things.
It did not help.
But look, I can't stress to y'all enough. If you making all the money that you want to make from your bedroom, don't leave your bedroom. Fine. But if you not happy with what it is that you getting right now, and you ain't left your house to go to a single event to try to meet somebody and find your next client,
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you. Just get out the house. Just go. Go. Stop being fooled. I'm not gonna call them lazy.
Right.
Because once again, it's not, I don't consider it, all of these misconceptions, I don't consider it anybody else's fault other than like the industry that has, again, tricked people into believing that this is all you need. This is all you need. This product is all you need. Social media is all you need.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stay in your house. Just make it, you'll be discovered. Like that is a pre-designed psychological exercise in marketing. So how can we blame anybody for falling for it?
Understand marketing.
Right.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
like there's literally been billions of dollars spent just to make you believe that this is all you need.
Right.
So I am going to be one counter voice to that because I don't have anything to gain from telling you just try to leave the house. Try something new.
But I'm successful in the DMs, though. I'm successful in the DMs.
Okay.
Right.
Like, if you think that works, great. But I'm going to tell you what's really going to work. Relationships.
100%.
Relationships, trust me, is going to work. Meeting people and building those relationships is going to work.
Yo, I tell my students all the time, like, and I mean this, and it's sad because especially like with all the technology we got now, and especially AI, let's just say you are a dope producer. You a dope producer, you done made a beat, and some up and coming artist with a budget. You know they got a budget. They like, yo, I like that track.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me get that. Maybe they ain't even offer you no bread. They like, oh, I'll give you some points on something, whatever.
Right.
Like, you gonna give me half your publishing. Like they gonna hit you with some crazy stuff
Right.
that you know you don't want because you're a nobody and they got all the power. And you gonna be like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I really want blah, 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 blah. Truth be told, if they want it, they ain't gotta pay you for it. They'll just pay somebody that they know to reproduce it.
Yep.
And the only way that won't happen is if they have a relationship with you. Like there's nothing stopping anybody from just, if they really don't like you, they don't have to work with you.
Yeah,
And everybody who works in this industry a lot has people that they would rather be working with anyway. So if you're making it difficult for them to bring you into their fold by you deciding to be closed off and locked off in your room, you ain't got nobody else to blame but yourself when don't nobody look out for you because don't nobody know you.
I echo.
I'm sorry.
I
just got real Atlanta with that because don't nobody know you.
Don't nobody know you.
I just got real Atlanta with that.
For real.
Don't nobody, bro. I 100% agree with that.
Oh man,
I agree with, but oh my gosh, it's all about that ego and it's all about that pride. It's like a lot of people out here, producers, artists, think they the hottest in the city, bro. And it's like,
so
you
might be right.
You may not. You're probably wrong though.
You're probably wrong.
You're probably wrong though. You might be right,
and it won't even matter.
But it don't matter
at all.
Because if people are trying to build that relationship with you and you coming in with that, I ain't got time.
Nope.
Right. Matter of fact, that brings that negative energy into my space,
which messes up everything anyway. It's like it's already, bro. Like, nah.
And if you're difficult to deal with, I ain't got time for that. So as we start to wrap up, I had this guy. I was at A3C, and I'm standing outside, right? I put this actually in my networking in the music industry course on the website, recreatemusic.tv. But anyway, right here somewhere.
Plug.
Right.
Plug.
I had this guy come up to me. He was like, "Hey, yo, man, what's good? Like, hey, you know where I can get some gas?" I was like, "You want some gas?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I saw a Shell, or I think it was a BP, maybe right up the street somewhere."
Wasn't that kind of
I
gas.
think that's probably where, I think that's the closest spot right there. He was like, "Nah, man, like talking about that gas, bro." I'm like, "Okay, so first of all, you don't know me. Second of all, I don't know what you're really talking about, because I don't know. If you say gas, I'm thinking, you want gasoline, but you want some other something else that you refer to as gas. But once again, you don't know who you're speaking to." Well, I could have been which I'm not, but I could have been like a big music executive that was there to scout talent. Here can this dude tell me something you don't know. Like, don't be so over. I don't even know the word I want to say there, but over.
Familiar?
Overly familiar.
Yeah.
Because you black, I'm black. So we're gonna be overly familiar with one another. And so it's like, but there's still a certain level of professionalism that come with meeting people and building relationships with people and networking with people. Like, I would never ask somebody that.
Yeah, I'm a hold my tongue on that one just a bit. All I'm gonna say is
I would never ask somebody that.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna tell you, if I'm being honest, I'm gonna tell you who ain't asking who that though. There's some other people that are in the music industry that's not asking that of their other counterparts. So, but it is over familiarization with. Are you black? I'm black, so we should.
Right. The assumption
that's not how that works.
The assumption that the lifestyle that and again, to me, that's a media and an image problem. There was I forgot.
Oh my gosh,
I forgot who I was having this conversation with. So I hope they forgive me if they see this. But I was having a conversation with somebody, and we were talking about I remember who I was talking to. I was talking to Craig King. And we were talking about the stories that get told about us as a people. And we were talking about how we don't do a good job telling our own stories, and the narrative about us and what's normal for us is really it's not dictated by us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for us to really blame others when they assume that this is what black people are, this is how they talk, this is how they do business.
Right.
So, and we were talking about it in context of, especially when like other cultures and people like are interacting with us, but it also 100% comes into play with our own people interacting with each other, because you ain't, I know that was a younger dude.
It was. It was a younger dude.
It was a younger dude, and it was a younger dude who is heavily influenced by media about his own people.
Right.
For him to think that that's a normal thing among his own people.
Right.
For him to think, yo, this is a hip hop music festival and conference. This is what hip hop is about.
Mm-hmm.
Because
he's here.
He
must be about that.
He must be about that.
In
because
some way,
that is what we are about.
Exactly.
That is what I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends and my community is about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's all I see on social media because algorithm. So every person who looks like me, that's how they move. I know you got gas on you. Like, why aren't you sharing it? Like, give me,
give me some of that gas.
Like, that's almost how it was, because he looked at me. He was like, I was like, gas? I don't know what you're talking. He was like, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Gas. I started going BP. I was like, BP Shell. He was like,
didn't even get the joke.
What?
Didn't even get the joke.
BP and Shell. No, honestly, I didn't even know really what he was talking about, though. It wasn't even like a joke. I literally didn't know what he was talking, because he was leaving. I thought he was leaving.
No, that makes sense. He might have actually,
he was coming out. He was like, yo, you know where I can get some gas? I'm like, Yeah, I think there's a BP in the show, like right there, bro.
That's
like
hilarious.
I see you get ready to lead. Like, boom, go ahead. He was like, nah. Like that.
The way he said it, nah,
Like,
nah.
It was bro, that look, he was like, nah. I'm talking about like some gas, bro. Like I was like, nah, bro, I'm sorry, I'm not able to help you. I don't
God.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Yeah, I just.
He was like, you sure? Like, yeah.
You sure?
I-
Bruh, like no offense to you. I don't know if this would be offensive for you, but I would never assume that you would be the plug.
I'm not the plug.
I don't see that when
I'm
I
not the
look at
plug
you.
with that.
I
Not
don't-
when it comes to that.
I don't get that vibe from
Yeah,
you at
nah.
all. So I don't understand how anybody else
I don't
would.
know.
And I don't smoke anyway, but anyway.
That's so
It
crazy.
was so crazy. But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, so that is about our I'm convinced I concur with what Craig was saying. Like that's about our narrative. That's about us not controlling our own narrative enough in order to be able to not just correct the record about what others see about us, but also to be able to gently police our own people about what it should be expected from each other in a professional setting, and what assumptions you can afford to make about another brother simply because y'all have similar skin tones.
Right. Man, I concur. Absolutely with that. Oh my goodness. I mean, there's so much more we can go into. But I think that was dope though. I think that was enough to give them the people gonna be watching some context into some of the challenges that they're faced with.
Yeah.
And at least some things that they could look at differently. I'm telling you, a lot of stuff we talked about, it's on the website. So go check it out, right? Right here. Go check it out.
Up top.
I'm telling you right there.
Yes,
but,
up top.
But man, Derek, it's been a pleasure, brother.
Man,
We
absolutely.
had to do this again, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime.
We got to do this again for sure.
Yeah.
Back.
For sure. But
Thank y'all for having me.
yeah, no doubt.
Man, most deaf.
It's been an absolute pleasure, man.
No doubt. Any last things, Yohance?
Nah, like the way he was talking, that data. That's what
Data.
I keep on saying data. Yeah, data. The artists need to know it.
Need to know it. Any last things, Derek?
No, I don't think so. I think I left it all out there.
You gave it to him. I
think I left it all out there. I'm gonna just say, like I said, thank y'all for having me. For any artists out there, I do got one thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
If you looking at that comment section right now and you mad and you want to write anything that you write about anything, I don't think that this is just take a moment. Feel that emotion right there. Let's figure out where that came from. And we're going to deal with that. I'm going to be your therapist in this moment. Just recognize, get that help, young brother or sister. You know what I'm saying? It ain't always about you. We just out here helping in whatever way we can. So stay out of my man's comment section.
For
sure, man. It's been a blast. It's absolutely been a blast.
Yep.
Great conversation, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for being here. We are the Indie Unplugged. We'll catch you next time. We still need like an outro thing. I don't even know what this outro thing is.
Yeah, we gonna figure it out.
Dun, dun, dun. No,
Not that.
Can't do it. We gotta edit
McDonald's,
that out
yeah,
right
you know what?
there. Right. No, that definitely ain't gonna be it. That sounds too familiar. Like it's probably because I'm hungry.
They gonna give you some.
That's probably why, because I'm hungry. But right,
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat that. I don't really eat that. So I ate it the other day, but I really don't really eat that type of food. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for attending, watching, being part of the Indie Unplugged. Peace.
Dose.